Good afternoon, everybody. David Shuster here on Take Action News, We Act Radio. So glad to have you with us on this, our second show in the month of February 2013. Special hello to our executive producer, Daniel Marins, down in Washington, D.C., and also Rich Webster running the board today on this very snowy afternoon for the Northeast. By the way, folks, if you are one of those people who was stuck, or you're just thinking, God, I wish I could show some solidarity for everybody who's under 35 inches of snow in Boston, go to the Red Cross, redcross.org, redcross.org to make online donations. You can also get the latest updates. And oh, by the way, if you're one of those people who's stuck under the snow, it's also a good place to share information about what your situation is, because there are a lot of people who are monitoring it, and you can get help that way. Daniel Marins, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, David. It's brisk weather out here in Washington, D.C., but thankfully there's no snow. Though I do like some snow every now and then.
Absolutely. I'm just thankful that it's not next weekend, because I've got a big family event coming up next weekend. And
what do you have going on?
Oh, you know, just getting married again. That's all. Just nothing too big. Whoa, Schuster's getting remarried? Yeah, believe it or not. Second time to the lovely Kira Rennert, and we are having quite the shindig next weekend. So, in any case, by the way, Rich Webster, how you doing today? You're surviving the all the weather?
What weather? Nothing here.
Yeah, DC's pretty
strong wind, which is like enough to shut down DC.
You know, the weather in North Korea is pretty grim these days, and this is, you know, we always like to talk about what's going on in the world and what you can do to influence outcomes. I'm not sure there's really much that any of us can do to influence what the North Koreans are thinking about these great United States these days. The North Koreans have been talking about more missile tests, possible nuclear tests, and their official state-run media released a bizarre video this week in which they fantasized about a missile launch, that missile hitting the United States, U.S. cities, particularly New York, going up in flames. And okay, you know, they have these bizarre fantasies in state-run media in North Korea, but what made it even so strange and bizarre was listen carefully to the music soundtrack. It's sort of a rip-off of a famous Michael Jackson collaboration. Listen to this. There's a missile flying, and it's going to hit New York City. Oh, no. So, no, I mean, it's crazy. So it shows like this little like space shuttle type thing flying around with the North Korean flag, and against this, you know, piano music, orchestral music to We Are the World, there's this missile striking what looks like a giant U.S. flag, and then you see images of New York City and essentially incinerated. And you hear this whoosh throughout the video. You know, I think we've all seen some really weird things from North Korea over the last, I don't know, 20 years. Danny Marins, this strikes me as one of the weirder, stranger things that we've ever seen from North Korea. I mean, in the video, you can ask a high school student in the United States, come up with a video imagining a missile hitting some city, and they would come up with something more clever and creative than this.
You know, I think, David, it's interesting that you mentioned Michael Jackson, and people think that Michael Jackson's career, and I happen to agree, it peaked at Thriller. In 1982, or I think it was a little bit later, but anyway, North Korea, you know, they were just so much kookier back in the 80s and 90s under Kim Jong-il. The new guy, Kim Jong-un, he just doesn't. He's recycling the old hits. That's all it is. He's not really with it in terms of totalitarian nuclear brinksmanship.
Rich Webster, are you a Michael Jackson fan?
I dabble with MJ occasionally. I mean, how can you not love Thriller? It's a classic. I think that this remix of Michael's track is going to be hitting the pop charts in North Korea in the near future, and you know, it could be their biggest export since whatever else they export.
Yeah, I always thought that videos about missiles and bombs were, I don't know, the purview of Sting or, I don't know, others, or Simon and Garfunkel or something melodramatic like that. I don't know, just me.
You know what I want? I want for the Republicans that are now saying that violent video games and movies are to blame for gun violence in the United States. I think they have a new culprit, and that is those kids watching those North Korean YouTube videos today. You never know.
Well, I'm all about North Korea's aspirations to have a space shuttle. When I saw that part of the video, I was like, great, let them build a space shuttle, have it fly around. I mean, their space shuttle goes like planet to planet, according to their video. So go for it, North Koreans. Have it fly all over the place. You know, and if you can develop a missile that can actually target a U.S. flag, wow.